What's going on YouTube? My name is PJ and I'm a realtor in the Houston area, and today we're gonna talk about credit score. I had no idea how important that credit score was until, I started shopping for a car, to be completely honest. I always heard my mom talk about, hey, you gotta keep your credit up and I'm gonna add you on my account to keep your credit score up and all these great things. So I really did not understand the importance of a credit score until I got older. And of course, this isn't something they really teach in college. So what can you do to increase your credit score? What can you do to keep a good credit score? And why do you even need to have a good credit score? And that's everything I'm going to cover today. So let's get this episode started. So to start with this video, what exactly is a credit score? Well, in short term, credit score is how well you can repay debt. It can go as low as in 300s all the way up to the 850s. Every credit bureau does it a little bit different. So it keeps track of if you make your payments on time, if you're paying back your debts, if you miss payments, if you're constantly getting your credit checked. Let's say you're trying to get multiple credit cards at once, how well you handle your credit cards, you miss rent, and how long you've had credit cards, and there's just so much that goes into a credit score. And why is it so important? Well, your credit score determines your interest rate, and your interest rate is basically how much extra you're paying on top of the money you already borrowed. For instance, let's say you're buying a house for $250,000 and you have a great credit score of, let's say, 800. Your interest rate is probably going to be around 4.125% or somewhere around that. Now, let's say you're buying a $250,000 house and you have a credit score of, let's say, the minimum of 580. Your interest rate is probably going to be closer to the 5.2, 5.3. So, it's only 1% difference. Well, in 30 years, that's a very big deal. So how big of a difference does that 1% make in an interest rate? So let's go over those numbers again. So it's basically a credit score of 580 versus a credit score that's, let's say, somewhere in the high 700s to low 800s. Well, if you have great credit scoring in the 800s, you're probably going to get an interest rate of 4%. So if you take out a mortgage of $200,000, you're going to have a monthly payment of $954.83. Over 30 years, the total amount of interest you pay is $143,739.01. Now compare that with somebody that has bad credit, let's say at 580. Well, you take out a mortgage of $200,000, you're probably going to get an interest rate of 5%. Your monthly payments are going to be at $1,073.54. Over 30 years, the amount of interest you pay is $186,511.57. So your monthly payments with a bad credit score, it's going to be $118.71 higher. And over 30 years, you pay a whopping $42,772.56 over 30 years. That is a lot of money for having a bad credit score. And you're paying an interest of $42,000, almost $43,000 when you took out a mortgage of $200,000. That's how big a bad credit score will impact you. Now, don't forget, I am a real estate agent and I deal with people who have low credit scores, and the conversation I usually have with them is, let's find a way to get your credit score higher. Let's find a way to get it in the 650s, 660s, and sometimes it's something as little as making a payment on a credit card that takes them up to the 700s, which is exactly what I did. Now, you're probably wondering why someone like me giving advice on credit score. Should I even be giving advice on credit score? Well, to be completely honest, my credit score was a 590 at the beginning of January 2018. I didn't have any credit cards, I wasn't making any car payments, and my credit score was absolute trash. Today, with a few different credit bureaus, at my highest, I have a credit bureau that gives me a 757. I have another credit bureau that gives me a 721, and another credit bureau that gives me a 710. They're all different things, but I want to take you through what I did to get a 160 credit score increase in a year and a half. And again, there's some things you can do where your credit score is just going to skyrocket next month. And that actually did happen with me, and I'll go over that. The first thing I did to increase my credit score was, well, I went out and got a credit card as soon as I started making a little bit of money. Why? Because the length of your credit history matters when they report your credit, So if you're somebody that has no credit at all right now, you want to get started as soon as you can, because the length of your credit history really matters. It matters because they have more to report on compared to, someone that has had credit for 1 year versus credit for 10 years. And a lot of the things on your credit stay there for 7, 8 years, especially missed payments, running your credit for a house, a car, and credit cards. They stay on there for 2 to 3 years. And then if you miss a payment, they stay there for about 7 to 8 years. But if you have a missed payment, I do have a little trick for you. So you need to go get a credit card at first. And now you're probably thinking, I have bad credit, I can't get a credit card. Luckily, there are a few good credit cards out there you can get. I've had a history with American Express before, so American Express did approve me of their credit card, but I want to add another credit card because American Express doesn't give me too much cash back and deals and travel points. Well, with this card anyway, I had to get the very basic because I was at the beginning of my credit and it was at 590, but I had a job, which allowed me to get the credit. So 3 of the best credit cards you can get with low or bad credit. Number 1 is Discover, with their card is called Secured. Number 2 is Capital One. Capital One also has great credit cards for traveling. And then number 3 is Visa, Credit One Bank Visa. So those are 3 credit cards you can immediately get with the bad credit, as long as you're making money and you can show proof of income and you probably had that job for, let's say, 6 to 8 months. So those 3 credit cards is a start to getting your history started. And the next thing we're going to talk about credit is how to use that credit card. Great, now you have a credit card, so how are you going to use it? Well, the first thing I did was put all my utilities, auto payments into my credit card. Now, because at this time I did have a bad credit, my credit limit on my card was very low. So as soon as all these bills hit, I was almost maxed out, and I had other, I'm paying for gas and all these things on my credit card. I was almost maxed out on my credit card, and it took me a while to pay that down. But the thing that probably boosted my credit the most, probably 60 points, was when I paid that credit card completely off. And then the next day my credit score was in the 700s, and that was something I did about 3 months ago, was completely pay my credit card off. And now every single month I completely pay it off, and my credit score just keeps going up and up. So if you have a high debt on a credit card, pay it off and your credit will skyrocket. Now, on your credit utilization, you want to keep it under 30%. So if you have a credit card with the credit limit of $10,000, you want to keep it under $3,000 every single month. And if you're new to a credit card, luckily they don't usually charge interest for the first 15 months. So it's okay if you're starting to, put bills on there and you can't pay it off fully every single time. But just know after 15 months, that interest rate skyrockets to almost 20%. And if you have bad credit, it's probably 30%. And there's no reason to ever be paying that much interest on a credit card. So always keep your credit cards under 30% and put all your bills on there. And make sure that your name is on your utilities and anything else you're paying for, because this shows a history of good payment, which is also going to increase your credit score. So get a credit card. Use it wisely, keep it under 30%, always pay it off, and keep using it. Now, the next thing I did that first decreased my credit score and then went up was that I went out and got a car. Now, my credit score was not the best when I got the car, so I had a pretty high interest rate. And again, this is why your credit score matters so much. You need a good credit score so you get a good interest rate. I was able to get 2 cars, one for me and one for my mom, if you saw my last video. And that was the reason. It was because I had an exceptionally good credit score. The average credit score for a millennial is 680, and I was about 50 points above that when I got my mom the car, which is why the credit score is so important. Unless you're going to buy everything your whole life in cash, your credit score matters. So I went out and got a car, and I never, so far, have not missed a payment on that. I actually pay it one day in advance, and every single time I pay $10 extra. And the reason for that is because I'll pay a little bit interest and my car payment gets lower and lower and lower, but I always keep it at the same amount because it lets me pay off more principal and less interest, and the goal is to pay as less interest as possible. So if I can pay off a little bit more on my monthly payment, I definitely will, but I don't take it overboard. Now, refinancing my car is an option because of my great payment history with the car and a higher credit score now. But because I got my mom a car, I gotta wait a little bit more until my credit score goes back up. Again, don't forget, every time someone checks your credit score, it goes down. And then the third thing I really want to recommend is something that you guys probably haven't heard of, and I'm actually in the process of doing it now. So let's get into that. Now, the third thing to increase your credit score is to like my video and subscribe to the channel. I am new to YouTube and I'm trying to help a lot of people, and subscribing and liking my channel helps a lot. But actually, that is not the third thing. The third thing is actually called a goodwill letter. And this is something a lot of people haven't tried, and I know most people pay like a credit specialist to help them with their credit, but usually they just end up spending thousands and thousands of dollars for something that's never happened. I'm actually in the process of writing a goodwill letter to Bank of America because I missed 2 payments back in 2017 while I was in India, and I had no idea. I came back and there was all these letters that I missed 2 payments on a credit card, and now I have 2 missed payments. And again, don't forget, missed payments stay on your credit for about 7 to 8 years. So what exactly is the goodwill letter? The goodwill letter is basically writing a letter to whoever informed the credit bureau that you missed payments, stating, hey, this is my situation at the time. I've always made my payments otherwise, and this one time I messed up. So can you please forgive me? And right now I'm writing one to Bank of America. Like I said, I missed 2 payments in 2017, and I'll keep you updated on that. It's not as easy as it seems. There's a lot of great templates on nerdwallet.com where they'll talk about these kind of templates to send out letters. Bank of America is very hard to reach when it comes to things like this, so I'm literally sending the same email to them every single day, and I might even end up having to write them some letters. Basically what I'm telling them is, hey, this was my situation back in 2017. I mean, I bank with you guys now. I took my car loan with you guys now, and I've never missed a payment. So can you please forgive me because of the age I'm at? And if I want to buy a house, all of these things matter. So this is a great way to, if you've ever missed payments, it's a great way to get it removed. And again, it's called a goodwill letter. And it's basically it's asking them, hey, I messed up. Can you please remove this 1 missed payment, 2 missed payments, and really describe your situation. Don't really beg, but just say, hey, take responsibility for it, but also say, can you please forgive me so my credit score can be higher than it is. These 2 missed payments are probably really holding me back, and it's going to take me a while to get above 800. I think if I remove these 2 missed payments, my credit score might go to 770, 780, and even 790. Who knows? So those are 3 things you can do to increase your credit score, and I know they might seem simple, and if you watch this video this far along, you're probably thinking, man, this guy's an idiot. I already knew these things and all of that. Well, I didn't know these things, and a lot of my friends kind of have low credit scores, and it's very important to check your credit score almost monthly. I just recently had a friend reach out to me saying, hey dude, I didn't know I've been missing payments at Best Buy, and apparently he bought something from Best Buy a very long time ago, and it's just been decreasing his credit score. He was in the 800s or 770s or something like that, and now he's in the 620s, which is why it's so important to constantly keep checking your credit score. If you want to rent out houses in the future, your interest rate's always going to be important, because if you have a high interest rate, you're not really going to make a lot of profit off of your rental properties. Buying a house, buying a car, whatever it is, your credit score is always going to be important. And if you have a low credit score now, just really save up and don't spend a lot, and really work on your credit score, because a low credit score is going to keep you broke at the end of the day. Any type of loan you take out, you're just going to pay so much interest to the point where you're going to be broke paying off the interest by taking out a loan to fix your credit, basically, and you don't want to do something like that. So find ways to fix your credit. And again, those 3 things are: get a credit card, keep it under 30%, pay it off. My car loan helped a lot, and then the goodwill letter if you've ever missed any payments. I know this seems kind of simple, and it did take me a year and a half, but some of these things will increase your credit score the next month. So thank you guys for watching so far, and again, if you really like this video, please like and subscribe. If you know anyone that needs help with their credit, please feel free to send them this video. I really want to keep making these as much as possible, as long as they're helping people around me and helping anybody else that's watching this video. Again, increase that credit score. It matters so much, and it will keep you from going broke if you have a great credit score. Thanks for watching.